Lisa spent $75,000 and endured 3 years of fertility treatments to have a biological child. When she gave birth to a baby who was clearly a different race than both parents, she realized the fertility clinic had implanted another couple's embryo, and somewhere another family was raising her genetic child. But the devastating reality of Lisa's embryo mix-up meant that two families were living lies. She was raising a stranger's biological child, while her own genetic daughter was being raised by people she'd never met, creating an impossible choice between love and biology. Lisa Martinez had dreamed of motherhood since she was a little girl playing with baby dolls. At 32, married to her high school sweetheart Tom for 8 years, she'd expected pregnancy to happen naturally when they started trying. But month after month of negative pregnancy tests led to doctor visits, fertility specialists, and the devastating diagnosis: severely blocked fallopian tubes and low egg quality. Natural conception wasn't impossible, but the odds were less than 5%. "We can help you," Dr. Rebecca Steinberg assured them at Coastal Fertility Center, one of California's most prestigious reproductive clinics. "IVF has come so far. With your determination and our expertise, I'm confident we can make your family dreams come true." Tom, an accountant with a methodical mind, researched everything: success rates, costs, procedures, risks. Lisa threw herself into fertility forums, diet changes, and visualization exercises. They were going to beat this together. The first IVF cycle failed. The second resulted in a miscarriage at 7 weeks. The third never took at all. "We need to try donor eggs," Dr. Steinberg suggested after reviewing Lisa's third failed cycle. "Your egg quality may be the limiting factor." Lisa was devastated. Using donor eggs meant her child wouldn't be genetically hers. But Tom was supportive, and they'd already spent $45,000 chasing their biological dream. "I just want to be a mother," Lisa told Tom through tears. However that happens, they selected an anonymous donor through the clinic's database, a 24-year-old college graduate with Lisa's coloring and similar interests. The profile felt perfect, like finding a genetic sister. The fourth cycle, using donor eggs and Tom's sperm, worked beautifully. Lisa was pregnant with twins but lost one at 12 weeks. The surviving embryo, a girl they decided to name Sophia, developed perfectly. "This is our miracle baby," Lisa whispered to her growing belly. "You fought so hard to be here." Labor started at 38 weeks, exactly as Lisa's birth plan anticipated. She'd prepared for this moment through meditation, birth classes, and countless conversations with her doula about the magical first moment of meeting her daughter. After 14 hours of labor, Sophia entered the world healthy, crying, and beautiful. The medical team placed her on Lisa's chest for immediate skin-to-skin contact. Lisa looked down at her daughter and felt a love more intense than she'd ever imagined possible. This tiny person she'd carried, protected, and dreamed about for 9 months was finally here. But as Sophia's eyes opened and Lisa studied her face, something felt wrong. Sophia's skin was darker than expected. Her hair texture was different. Her facial features, while beautiful, didn't resemble either Lisa or Tom. "She's gorgeous," Tom said, stroking Sophia's tiny hand, "but she looks different than we expected." Lisa's first thought was that babies often look strange immediately after birth. Swelling, bruising, and temporary discoloration were normal. Maybe Sophia would develop their features as she grew. But as the hours passed and Sophia's appearance normalized, it became undeniably clear: this baby didn't share Lisa or Tom's genetics. "Honey," Lisa whispered to Tom while Sophia nursed, "look at her really carefully. Does she look like she could be our biological child?" Tom studied his daughter's face with the same analytical attention he applied to financial statements. His expression slowly changed from wonder to confusion to concern. "Lisa, I think we need to talk to the doctor." Dr. Steinberg assured them that genetic variation was normal, especially with donor eggs. "Babies don't always look like we expect," she said dismissively. "Sophia is healthy and beautiful. Focus on bonding with your daughter." But Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that something was fundamentally wrong. When Sophia was 3 days old, Lisa requested genetic testing. "That's really not necessary," Dr. Steinberg insisted. "You're letting anxiety interfere with bonding with your baby." "Doctor, with respect, we paid $75,000 for a specific genetic outcome. If there's even a chance something went wrong, we need to know." The genetic testing took 2 weeks to process. 2 weeks of Lisa falling desperately in love with Sophia while harboring a terrible suspicion that this wasn't the child she was supposed to have. The results confirmed Lisa's worst fears. Sophia shared no genetic material with Tom. The egg used wasn't from their selected donor. This was someone else's biological child. "There must be some mistake with the testing," Dr. Steinberg said when Lisa confronted her with the results. "Laboratory errors happen. Let me order a second test." But Lisa was done trusting the clinic. She had the testing done independently, through a different laboratory. The results were identical. Sophia was not genetically related to Tom or to their chosen egg donor. Someone else's embryo had been implanted in Lisa's body. Where is our biological child? Lisa demanded during an emergency meeting with Dr. Steinberg and the clinic's legal team. The silence that followed told Lisa everything she needed to know. Somewhere another couple was raising the child that was genetically hers and Tom's. The clinic's initial response was denial, then minimization, then legal threats. They claimed the genetic testing was flawed, that embryo mix-ups were impossible with their protocols, that Lisa was experiencing postpartum anxiety. But Lisa had become a mother to Sophia, who she loved completely, and to a genetic daughter she'd never met. Her protective instincts were fierce, and she wasn't backing down. Tom hired a forensic accountant to audit their fertility treatments. Lisa connected with patient advocacy groups online. Together, they discovered that Coastal Fertility Center had been cited for labeling errors 3 times in the past 5 years. They knew this could happen, Lisa told Tom as they reviewed regulatory documents. They knew their system was flawed, and they let us pay for treatments without disclosing the risks. Through private investigators, they discovered the truth. On the same day Lisa's embryo transfer was scheduled, another couple, Maya and James Thompson, had also undergone IVF at the same clinic. Maya Thompson had given birth to a daughter named Emma, exactly 1 week before Sophia was born. Emma, according to genetic testing Lisa convinced the Thompsons to do, was Lisa and Tom's biological child. The clinic had mixed up the embryos, giving Lisa the Thompsons' genetic child and giving Maya Lisa's genetic daughter. 2 families both dealing with the impossible realization that they were raising children who weren't genetically theirs, while their genetic children were being raised by strangers. Lisa, let me tell you something, baby girl. What that clinic did to you isn't just medical malpractice, it's emotional terrorism. They took your trust, your money, and your genetic legacy, and they gambled with it like it was nothing. You paid $75,000 for a specific outcome, carrying and raising your biological child. Instead, they gave you someone else's baby and gave your genetic daughter to strangers. That's not a mistake, that's a complete failure of the most basic medical responsibility. But here's what I need you to understand. This situation isn't about choosing between Sophia and Emma. It's about the fact that you were robbed of the choice to know and raise your genetic child, while another family was robbed of the same thing. Sophia is your daughter. You carried her, birthed her, and love her. Emma is also your daughter. Genetically, she's the child you intended to create. Both of these truths can exist at the same time. The clinic wants you to stay quiet because they know what they did was inexcusable. They're hoping you'll just accept this nightmare rather than fight for accountability. But Lisa, you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for every family who trusts fertility clinics with their most precious dreams. This isn't about genetics versus love. This is about informed consent, medical competence, and corporate accountability. You deserve to know you were carrying another couple's child. Maya deserved to know she was carrying yours. Now you and the Thompsons have some incredibly difficult decisions to make. Can you co-parent? Can you maintain relationships so both girls know their genetic and gestational families? Can you work together to hold this clinic accountable? There's no roadmap for this, Lisa. Courts don't have clear precedents for embryo mix-ups. But what I do know is that Sophia and Emma deserve families who fought for truth and accountability on their behalf. Lisa and the Thompsons made an unprecedented decision. They would co-parent both children as extended family, ensuring that Sophia and Emma grew up knowing both their genetic and gestational parents. It wasn't easy. There were custody negotiations, therapy sessions, and countless difficult conversations about how to explain this situation to the girls as they grew up. But both families were united in their determination to sue Coastal Fertility Center and prevent this from happening to other families. We can't undo what happened to us, Lisa reflects 2 years later, watching Sophia and Emma play together at a family barbecue that includes both sets of parents. But we can make sure other families don't go through this nightmare. The lawsuit against Coastal Fertility Center resulted in a $12 million settlement and new regulations requiring genetic verification for all embryo transfers. Dr. Steinberg lost her medical license and the clinic was shut down. Lisa started a nonprofit organization called Fertility Truth that advocates for transparency in reproductive medicine and supports families dealing with clinic errors. I thought infertility was the worst thing that could happen to us, Lisa says. But getting pregnant with the wrong baby showed me that medical arrogance can be even more devastating than medical failure. Today, Lisa considers herself blessed with 2 daughters, Sophia, who she carried and birthed, and Emma, who shares her genetics. The girls call each other sisters and have no confusion about their unique family structure. Family isn't just about genetics or just about carrying a child, Lisa explains. It's about commitment to truth, protection, and love, whatever form that takes. The lesson: when medical institutions fail you, the solution isn't to accept the failure quietly, it's to fight for accountability so other families don't suffer the same betrayal.